Hello, it's Amaryllis. I am here to expound, if you haven't watched my birth video, expound on that and how you can have your dream or preferred birth. So let's just get started. Let's just get right into it. So, my first birth, I was very uneducated on childbirth. Um, what my options were. I was actually relying on my OBGYN to kind of educate me, didn't get it there. So, my second time giving birth, I said there are some goals that I want. There are some things that I do want to happen, some things that I don't want to happen. I do want to give birth at the same hospital, but I would like for it to go a particular way. So that's when I really started to study basically on how to be a doula. And then I got certified after I had my son. So, number one, I found a new OBGYN that worked for me, that understood the issues that I had the first time, and that what he was willing to work with me to make sure that I can achieve those goals. One, I did not want to have a C-section, no matter how large my baby was. I did not want to be induced. And I wanted to labor at home. I did not want to go to the hospital early on. I wanted to labor, do most of my labor at home, get to the hospital around 6.5, 7 centimeters, and then get there and then push the baby out. I did want to have the epidural or use the nitrous, the laughing gas. So those are my options. So during this time, I normally carry large babies. So we did NSTs because I have gestational diabetes when I'm pregnant. So we did NSTs to make sure that the baby will be able to handle labor. We checked his size. And yeah, first things first. I did a lot of walking. I did the inversion method to make sure that his head was down at the proper time. And I got my membrane sweep at 37.5 because my baby was like 8 pounds, 3 ounces, and his shoulders were very large, and I didn't want him to dislocate his shoulder. So we decided to swipe my membrane to kind of get him out more towards the 38 week versus later because he was already 8.3 estimated in an ultrasound. So we did that. That was painful, horrible pain. But if you're having trouble as a doula, that is one of the measures that you can take to kind of, I don't want to say speed things, but kind of speed things up, basically. Do a lot of walking, curb walking, rock on your ball. But basically, I just did a lot of walking, a lot of curb walking. I was extremely tired. I just walked. So I did all of that. I made sure that I let gravity do its work. Laying down was just not an option for me. Made sure that your pelvic floor is always facing the ground to let gravity do its thing, to let the baby just gradually move down. Around 37 weeks, I was around 3.5 centimeters, which is normal for me. And I knew one morning I woke up, I was like, I think I'm gonna have this baby today. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm very tired. I don't have my normal energy of like, let's clean the floor, let's clean the whatever. And I was having contractions. So I labored in my bed early on. I went back to sleep because I woke up kind of early. So I labored in the bed. And when it got a little tough, I sat up, I got up on my ball. I made sure that gravity was always working. I kept my bladder empty, drank a lot of water, but you don't want your bladder to be full. So I went to the restroom a lot. When I had an app to count my contractions when they were 5 minutes apart, is when I called my doctor. I'm only 12 minutes away from the hospital that I was giving birth at. I called my doctor. They told me to come in. I took my time. I got ready. got my son ready because he was going with his aunt. They met us at the hospital. We were able to, sorry, someone was at the front of my house, but we were able to, get to the hospital in time. When I got to the hospital, I felt pressure and I was 6.5 centimeters, around 6.5 centimeters. Got the IV. Being in a stressful environment, such as being in a hospital, can stall your labor. So my labor did stall. I did get Pitocin to kind of put it back in track because I was, having contractions very fast, but then they slowed down because they had a hard time getting the IV in. And then I got the epidural because Pitocin is like the devil's nectar. It's horrible. I would suggest no one get it. So during that time, my baby flipped. If you notice in the video, the doctor said, no, he flipped, so it may be a little harder. So to, get him down. But once I did like one push, he was off that nerve. I was good. I didn't want my epidural turned up very high or a large dose to where I can still feel those contractions. So I did push, kind of, sitting like when you're laying back and you're kind of sitting up. I did not mind that position, my preference. The next time that I give birth, I would either like the bar to where I can sit directly up to where gravity can really do its thing, or I would like to be on all fours. Basically, he was very low because I walked. I did the inversion method. He was head down, and we basically pushed for 3 minutes. My first birth, I pushed for 3 hours. So as you can see, I'm like joking around, all of this stuff. I honestly had to get it in my mind that I'm in pain, but I'm not suffering. It was I love labor. I love giving birth. I love everything about it. I love nesting. I love being pregnant. I love it all. So some moms, they are not so like jokey and that's completely fine, but that's just my personality. I can be in the hospital for like the worst thing and I'm just gonna be making jokes and whatever, even though I was in pain and I was tired and all of that. But so that's basically what happened. I made a plan. I printed off the birthing plan from my local hospital. I made a plan. I found an OBGYN that would work with me in doing that. He knew that I wanted to push him out push him out vaginally. As you can see in the video, his head was hanging out for a while until I got my next big contraction because his shoulders were so wide. So he kind of, put his hand in there to kind of push his shoulder in so that it wouldn't dislocate. I did tear once his shoulders did come out. That was to be expected because of how wide his shoulders were. So, yeah, it was a very, I loved it. I want to do it again. I do have the same OBGYN that I did with my second son. And the plan is to basically do the same. I want to labor at home. I want to go to the hospital when it's time. And I do want to do different positionings, but when I push, but that was my dream birth and I loved it in every sense. So I'll insert clips when I'm speaking about this, but yes, completely, absolutely, positively loved it.